also what people do. When you're buying a watch, people go on Chrono 24.
Yeah.
The first thing clients do to me is send me the cheapest one.
I used
online.
to do that.
Send me the
day.
cheapest one in Hong Kong.
It's an absolute pet peeve.
Yeah.
Everyone,
papers.
Yeah.
Everyone does it. Show the cheapest one.
Yeah.
But what you guys understand is when you pay them and you send the money, when you bring the watch back into the country, you got to pay another 24%. You got to pay the duty and the VAT.
This is another good thing about the blockchain. If you could have every watch transaction on the blockchain, because then you've got full transparency.
Yeah, and see what other ones are sold for.
Yeah,
too.
because that is how you measure a value. What is everything else sold for?
100%. Because if I tell you that I sold that for 500 grand, but I didn't really. I sold it for 300. How did you know? Yeah. And what it is, what also you got to remember, the watch community, like grey market dealers, they say we are. We all know each other. Yeah. So I could ring you and say we've both got the same watch. Put it at 500 grand. This is the market now. We're dictating the market. Yeah. And that goes on, and people don't realize that.
We interviewed Pablo Escobar's son just for a laugh, really. And it ended up he wasn't his son, and we outed him. We outed him live.
You just got some.
We outed him live. He went on BBC. He went on all the mainstream media. Pablo Escobar's son.
Keeping it moving. What are we doing if we ain't moving? Hey, keeping it moving, keeping it groovy. Yeah. Hey, just stepped off a plane, never hopped in a range. I hopped in a Uber, straight to the stage, but I stopped at a break, big belly like Buddha. Metabolism slowing down, but the bars ain't. Go hard, but the flow so blasé. From the east to the west, no Kanye. Crowd went nuts when I stepped in a park. Moving, keeping it moving. What are we doing if we ain't moving? Hey.
Hi guys, welcome to Broad Talks. Today we have a special guest on our show. He's a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, written many books, investor. My friend Rob Moore. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Haven't seen you in a long time, have I?
No, your hair's grown since I saw you last.
I know, it has grown. You know, COVID, lockdown and things like that.
Yeah.
How you been, all right?
Yeah, good.
Good. I've been looking at your page, busy as ever.
Yeah, trying to get my name out there, you know.
Your name's definitely out there, mate.
So guys, tell me, how do you guys know each other? How did it all start?
Well, I think Kieran's emptied half of my bank account.
No, yeah. He hasn't bought a watch in like 10 years.
That's because there's a massive bubble, mate. That's why.
To be fair, you've been saying to me the last 2 years, Kieran, I'm not buying no more. I think the crash is coming, right? You've been saying to me for the last 2 years.
My beard's gone grey since I started.
And I was like to you, mate, the crash, I can't see it coming just yet. Obviously, we have a correction in things, which is natural. But the market's been so powerful in the last 12 months even. Just going up and up and up.
It's like Viagra, but it has to come down.
Yeah.
It has to come down.
I think there will be a correction at some point because it has to, but I don't feel like that word you use, crash, I don't like it. Is that all right for me? I just don't like crash.
You can like or not like.
I don't like it. Gets me nervous. I don't like crash.
But I mean, in every cycle, you have corrections, crashes, bubbles, booms, busts, whatever you call them. But there's some lofty prices right now. I mean, we were talking before. I bought the RM11 off you, didn't I?
No, I bought it off you.
Oh, right.
You bought it from someone. And then I bought it off you.
Yeah, you did. And I thought I did all right.
You did.
I made on it.
I think I paid like £90,000 for it at the time. And at the time, it was a lot.
And then I was in a hotel and I said to Gemma, I want my RM11 back. I'm going to message Kieran, thinking they'd be like 100. Yeah. And what were they, 2?
Yeah, 2 at the time.
What are they now?
No, your RM11, right now, they're like 220 right now. So how many years ago was that?
That's like 6 months worth of taking my missus out. It's a lot of money.
You know what? It's just
220.
Yeah, 220.
And this has got. Surely it's because they've not been making many watches.
And you know what the funny thing is now? £200, 200k don't get you nothing in RM no more. That's entry level. No, it's entry level now. Yeah, things are just.
That's list price.
Yeah, things are 400, 500, 600. It's just gone bonkers. You know, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And just when I was young, I couldn't even get my head around spending £10,000.
No.
Nah, I don't want to. I'm buying big things now. But I know that my money's safe. Well, in my hands, it's safe, and I feel like I can.
If there's a crash and a big correction, will you have me back on the show?
100%.
I don't necessarily. It's not like I want it or.
Do you know what? I'm a holder.
Yeah.
So even though there will be a crash, it will come back.
Yeah.
So I don't stress too much.
Yeah.
It could take 2 years, 3 years.
I always thought I was a holder, but. If you can sell something you think that's good money for that. I came out of that Nautilus.
Yes.
I paid 25 for a Nautilus Chrono. Got 36 for it.
Blue Dial
Steel. What are they now? 120?
We sold one for 110 the other day, didn't we? Yeah, 110.
I'm an idiot.
For Steel watch.
The thing is, when I had that, no one liked them.
Nautilus has been big this year, though.
Yeah,
it's been going crazy. All models.
I've always liked
I've always liked it.
It's a beautiful watch, chronograph. It's lovely. Underestimated. Back then it was underestimated. No one knew.
Not anymore.
Yeah, now everyone.
That Tiffany dial, was it Jay-Z got one?
Yeah.
What did he pay for that?
I reckon he got it for free.
Yeah, I reckon he did.
I think it's all to do with
Didn't the one go for like millions?
Yeah, so the one went for, was it 6 mil, 5 mil?
Yeah, 5 mil.
But
I saw LeBron with one as well.
But I've got a thing in my head that Patek bought it. Pretended.
So gave it to him and bought it back, you mean?
No, so what they did was in the auction,
yeah.
they bought in the auction, which is great marketing. Think about it.
Of course it is,
Remember, there's 170 of them made.
Yeah,
so
I tried to get one.
Yeah. So they spend 5 mil, 6 mil on buying it back through. So everyone talks about it, creates the hype. Yeah. So all the Tiffany people who buy with Tiffany, who are going to want it, they're going to go to Tiffany on a Monday and say, "Oh, we want that watch." They're going to say, "Okay, you got to spend 5 million quid with us to get that watch because you know it's worth 6." So in their mind, they're making 850 mil because there's 169 left, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they do. Give to Jay-Z. Pretend that he's the one who bought it.
Yeah, photo like this.
It's amazing.
I've got an itchy beard.
But he works at Tiffany now, Jay-Z. I think it's
Does he?
Yeah, him and Beyonce. They do a thing.
And you know what? It's done a madness for other watches that don't even have a Tiffany dial, but just have the color of a Tiffany dial. I bet they'll make that color now. Yeah,
loads of other
Rolex
watches.
have like a Oyster Perpetual that with that color blue. That's like at list I think it's $6-7 grand watch. In the market it was like 12-13 grand. Before that
Tiffany.
Before that came out, up at 30 grand.
Mate, 30, 40 grand.
A 6 grand watch.
I nearly bought a gold Nautilus Tiffany. 40 grand I could have paid for it. Now I think they're 150.
Yeah. Anything Tiffany now is usually 1.5 or 2 double the money what it was with that dial. Yeah. So they're good investments, Tiffany. They're rare, and all Tiffany dials come out of New York. So on the papers it should say from New York boutique. A lot of people might not know that. So when you buy a Tiffany dial watch, the papers have to say New York boutique.
It's a nice little addition, a nice little detail.
It is a nice detail.
Yeah.
So what else is there going on?
Well, I want to talk really more to Rob about him and his story, how everything started, sort of
Still
the property.
Pissed about watch price.
Yeah, so sort of just as someone that doesn't know you as well as Kieran, so how did it all sort of start with you? Because I've read up a bit about you, and there's sort of how you're in debt to begin with. I think you were studying art, or you were planning on being an artist. So sort of wanted to delve into that.
I'm an artist as well.
You're everything, mate.
No, I'm not everything. No.
Jack of all trades.
No, you're like this master of none.
Dark horse ninja. You are a dark horse ninja.
No, I didn't know you was an artist. Was you?
Yeah, I was the only person in the UK to get 100% at GCSE. I got 100% at art. No one knows about it because I don't talk about it.
But I got 101%.
Of course you did, because you're a ninja.
No, but I got A star. You obviously got A star as well.
Yeah. But 100%. Wow. I got an award at school for it, and then I did A level and got an A, but only did half the degree because I had a motorbike crash. I was in hospital. I'm actually launching my NFTs in a few weeks' time. My first NFT series, and because I was an artist, I've got I think a more credible story. But art never made me any money. I loved it, but I couldn't make any money out of it. But I went to this networking event in Peterborough because I was skint, and I was like, well, what do you do if you're skint? You probably try and get into property, and I don't. Obviously, you're into property, and I had no idea how to get into property. But I went to this network meeting, and there was a speaker, and I stayed at the end, and I met a guy there who was also into property. He's still my business partner, 16 years on.
I've met him, right?
Yeah. We just finished a 99 apartment block in Peterborough. Nice. 159 tenants. So put that here in London. $250 million probably. Yeah, a bit cheaper in Peterborough. It sounds better. But Peterborough's, central Peterborough versus central London, it's probably an eighth of the price. Yeah. So, you get good money, good value in Peterborough. But and
you're still in the property game, and I've been to your offices before.
We were talking before about you hold with watches.
Yes.
I hold with property.
Yeah.
I've probably sold 2 properties. We probably hold, it's hundreds of units. It might be 400 or 500.
Wow.
Never sold any of them. I was buying little flats in Peterborough for 50 grand in 2006 and 7. can't get much. You can't.
Nothing.
Nothing on this table for 50 grand. And it's a watch. So yeah, so property's been good for me, and my focus now is more on the digital side, NFTs, the social media side, the metaverse, the cryptocurrencies. I think there's a land grab going on Web 3.0 at the moment.
Yeah, I was actually tuned into your live last night about NFTs, or I think it was yesterday evening. And a lot of like me and my friends, we're not experts on it, and we don't really understand it. So just for any viewers that don't really understand about the NFT space, you were sort of explaining what they are and what NFT stands for. So I'd just like to touch upon that and how you think it's going to sort of affect like stuff like the watch game and the property game, like people coming in and buying with crypto and stuff like that, and all these NFTs, especially with the art as well.
Yeah, wow, that's a massive question. Okay, so I think regardless of what happens in NFTs, cryptos, the metaverse, real physical, tangible assets are always going to have their place. This is gold. And so I don't think it's going to in any way affect or hurt the watch market. I always went on get really limited edition. In fact, did you get me this one?
I got that watch, Biblos, yes.
Yeah, so one of 50.
Yes.
Which has gone up nothing since all this bullshit. So I bought really smart. I bought one of 50. This has done nothing.
You like big watches. You do. Like, when I mean big,
like on your wrist.
Yeah, I do. But one of 50.
But you know what? 1 second. It's going to have its time.
Yeah.
Right now, everyone's AP mad about Royal Oaks. The thin ones on the bracelets, which you sold. But offshores, for some reason, they're going for a sticky patch for the last 3 or 4 years. Doesn't matter. It will come back around. It's always like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stress about it.
No,
it's a lovely watch.
Yeah.
You enjoy it, right? You like it. There you go.
I do. And so I'd always buy on scarcity if they only made 50 or 100 of them. I bought that QE2.
Yeah.
They only did 200 of them. So anything that has scarcity, I think is always going to have value. So in the NFT space, the ones that have scarcity often are the ones that do well. And also, it's who launches it.
100%.
So Gary Vee launched his, did good on that. There's the artist Beeple. Yeah. People look at him and go, oh yeah, he's made 70 million quid. What a lucky bastard. No, he's a digital artist for a long freaking time. Yeah. I'm a fan of someone who's successful. Anyone who's successful, I think it's really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, an NFT is, people think it's art, but it's actually just a piece of digital real estate.
Yeah.
It's just an asset that's minted on the blockchain. So when I launch mine, there'll be the digital art, but I'll also be giving people the physical piece of art that I'll create.
Oh, nice.
But then also I'll give them some, like, I've got 3 levels, and on one level, if you buy one, you own the sponsorship rights to a podcast episode of mine for life.
Wicked. So it's got utility.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
So if you're an entrepreneur,
that's a cool addition,
you can run your ads on my podcast,
like it.
and you might make more money. Like if, for example, if you bought one, ran out of my podcast, sold a nice watch with a reasonable margin, you'd make more than the payment for the NFT back. So I think the important thing in NFTs is making sure there's utility. But I mean, do you know Kevin O'Leary? He's on Shark Tank in America. Do you know who the guy is?
I've heard the name. Yeah, I've heard the name.
So he's talking about, and I think this is really interesting. Like, let's be honest. Someone can fake a Rolex, go buy the box online, fake up the papers, chop it all together. But if the papers and the certificate of authenticity of a watch is minted on the blockchain as an NFT, there's no faking it. It is there in record, publicly available. So things like smart contracts, certificates of authenticity, these are other uses of NFTs.
I think that might come. They might start doing that.
Well, why would you want your watches to be faked? Of course you wouldn't. Yeah. And anything you can do to stop
like
that.
digital papers and things like that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and also it's so easy to lose the papers. So when I've got watch boxes in this safe, watch papers in that safe, watches in that safe. Yeah. I actually had a flooding in one of my properties, and I thought I was being really smart putting a safe in the floor. Had it drilled in, fucking flooded, the papers in there ruined.
It's hard because obviously you need the papers to get the full price of something. So when I buy a watch, the first thing I ask is, does it have the papers?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have the papers, it obviously gives the price a lower. So,
and it's risky as well, because you might,
there you go, 100%.
Is there a risk though with the digital footprint being copied as well? That's what you have to think about.
That's one of the selling points of the blockchain, is this impenetrable it's secure. It's not. So NFT, non-fungible token, means it's not break-upable.
Yes.
So that NFT is there, and that's it, and it's claimed that it's unbreakable and unhackable.
Would you accept crypto, Bitcoin, whatever, for a property? If you own a property, like you own one now, would you? And I know you don't sell, but if you was selling, if I came to you and said, I've got 10 Bitcoins, I want to buy your flat, would you take it?
Yeah, I probably would. I probably wouldn't do it on all of them.
Yeah.
But I probably would, because that's an amount of money I'm prepared to have in Bitcoin. So I probably would. And I always think it's really important to stay afloat with what's going on in the world and tech and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't sell all 500 to you just in Bitcoin. Yes. The thing with Bitcoin is it's so volatile that that's almost like a, with currency fluctuations, and the timing of buying is so important in currency exchange. Well, the timing of buying and selling in the Bitcoin, it's 6 months ago, it's 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, which I think it is, and then it goes up to 70,000.
Yes.
And by the time anyone's listening to this, it could be 10,000 or it could be 100,000.
Yeah.
So timing's really important in using a volatile currency to buy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's got good.
You got some Bitcoin?
Yeah,
of course you have, because you've got everything.
I've been buying Bitcoin for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you did all right at the start.
Yeah.
That's why you only wear Richard, isn't it?
That's why Richard Mills is favourite.
I like crypto. It's been good to me, but obviously I understand I'm a holder. So when you're a holder, I don't panic when I've seen my portfolio drop 90%.
Yeah.
You bought more.
Yeah, and I bought more. I bought on the dip, as you said.
Yeah.
Because I believe in it, and I know long term, which is proven that I've gone above and beyond what I could even thought.
Yeah.
I even believe now, this is just a tip. It's nothing. In 10 years' time, it might be £1 million for one Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, they're not making any more.
They're not making
the scarcity bit.
There you go. There's only 21 million supply, 18 in circulation, so it's very low numbers.
There's a worry about Bitcoin itself in terms of the coin, because not in terms of cryptocurrency, but apparently like with the sort of what it costs to actually hold all the software or where it's stored. I don't know about the farm or the storage farm. I was reading something about that. I'm not sure if you know anything about that.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like all the hard drives.
This isn't
really expensive.
This isn't the Bitcoin show, is it?
This ain't the Bitcoin show. You don't know nothing about Bitcoin.
I know it takes a lot of energy to mine it, and
that's what I mean.
The mining.
Yeah, the mining of it.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think actually, as a store of value, it's one of the most efficient stores of value. So, people listening might not know. Obviously, you do, but to store a Richard meal, you got to have security, a safe, insurance, yada yada yada. If you want to travel this amount of watches around, you might need a bodyguard. You might need this, that. Exchanging Bitcoin, none of that. Yeah. So actually, that is a big plus for Bitcoin.
For me, same as well. It's amazing. You store it on your ledger, on your cold wallet. It's there. You put it in a safe.
No inflation.
I can put it in my pocket, go to America, plug it in my computer.
Yeah, you can't do that with all of these.
And it's transferable to all currencies as well.
Yeah, you can obviously sell it. You can sell it on Coinbase by now.
Just a quick question. If you were carrying a load of these through customs and they saw it, would there be taxes due for you on carrying these across?
Because I bought these in my country. Depends what I'm doing. If I'm going to another country and selling, then yes, I can't do that. I can't take my watches and sell them in their country.
Yeah.
But if I'm going on holiday with 5 watches, then no, I'm just wearing them.
Yeah.
No one can take them off me. I have an invoice here in UK proving that I bought the watch.
Right.
All my watches.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to somewhere else to sell them, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
100%. So also what people do, when you're buying a watch, people go on Chrono 24.
Yeah.
The first thing clients do to me is send me the cheapest one.
I used
online.
to do that. Send
me the cheapest one in Hong Kong.
It's an absolute pet peeve.
Yeah.
Everyone
papers.
Everyone does it. You show the cheapest one.
Yeah.
But what you guys understand is when you pay them and you send the money, when you bring the watch back into the country, you got to pay another 24%. You got to pay the duty and the VAT.
And there's a load of scammers on Chrono 24.
Oh yeah, we're not on Chrono 24 no more. We was on it, but there was too much scammers, things going on. I don't want to send the 500 grand watch to Australia.
It's not quick either. Like, it has to go through a whole process.
Yeah, they hold your money in an escrow.
Right.
They get the delivery.
Yeah.
It's a bit of palaver. I've heard a lot of stories where people just sent back fake watches. It's not for me. No. But I get it why people go on there and try and just look at the prices. I understand.
It's a good rough guide.
It's a good rough guide, but sometimes it can be false because people looking at watches in Hong Kong or America, but they're not taking ahead. There's no VAT on it. There's no duty.
Also, the difference between a sale price and a list price, like in property, list price versus sale price, really different. 100%. Yeah, I'm squirming a bit here because back in the day I used to do that. Oh, mate, here you go. This one on Chrono 24 for 12 pence.
No, but everyone
get one for me.
That's literally what everyone does.
That makes me feel a bit better.
No, but everyone does that, and people don't understand. There's fees to be paid.
Yeah.
And people don't know that.
And that's the only like kind of sense of worth they can get for the watches. There's no
where else can they find the trade? This is another good thing about the blockchain. If you could have every watch transaction on the blockchain,
true.
Because then you've got full transparency.
And see what other ones are sold for.
Yeah, because that is how you measure a value. What is everything else sold for?
100%. Because if I tell you that I sold that for 500 grand, but I didn't really. I sold it for 300. How did you know?
Yeah.
And what it is, what also you got to remember, the watch community, like grey market dealers, they say we are. We all know each other.
Yeah.
So I could ring you and say we both got the same watch. Pull it at 500 grand. This is the market now. We're dictating the market.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes on, and people don't realize that. So it can be the market, it cannot be the market. You know.
Yeah.
Question I want to ask Rob. You have the Guinness Book World Record?
Yeah.
Two.
He's got 2, no?
I think one of them's been done.
Been done?
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to beat it.
Yeah. So I broke the world record for the longest individual public speech.
Wow.
47.5 hours straight. And then I broke the world record for the longest team public speech. We did about 5 days straight, and I did about 2 days of those. Yeah, so...
So you can talk for England?
Yeah. All my haters are like, Rob, talks too much. But yeah, I got a world record.
What sort of urged you to do that? Where did that sort of come from, that desire?
We're quite disruptive in our little world. In property training, we're the biggest property training company in the UK, Progressive Property, and we came from nothing and no one, put on a couple of tight-fitting Italian suits, spiked up the hair, wore pointy shoes when everyone was wearing grey suits and white shirts, and we made a bit of noise, and it gave us some growth. And I just wanted to do something a bit different from everyone else in our industry, and no one's broken a world record in the property game that I could see. I can't do David Goggins style press ups or anything like that. Yeah. So did a bit of research. I thought I want to break a world record, but I want it to be relevant. Some people do very sort of niche world records. And when I found out that the public speech one was, I think I broke it by 5 hours. So I think it was 42 hours. It's one of those things that's just like, I know I can do that.
Amazing.
No practice, just rolled it all out. I lost my voice on day 2. It was, do you know what? I thought this would be easy. It was like one of the hardest things I've ever done. At out-of-body experiences, I started seeing things. Wow. My voice...
You would? 2 days awake?
My voice actually went... I couldn't stop talking. I had to keep talking, otherwise I wouldn't have got the record.
An audience?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so we actually raised £115,000 for one of our charities, which was really nice.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But you had to have a live audience for the whole time. If you had under a certain number in the live audience, the world record didn't count.
So you had them rotate.
Yeah. So we sold let's say 500 tickets. We had a room that could fit 200 in, and they rotated day and night. And quite a lot of our clients literally sat through 40 of the 47 hours. 2 people actually brought tents, pitched them outside the building, and just slept in the tents and just... so 47 hours of free content off Rob.
Did they know that you were going for the world record?
Yeah. We marketed it, we advertised it, and all the money, obviously, for the ticket sales went to charity.
Amazing.
So was content creation something you always wanted to do, or did it just sort of fall in your lap?
No, I was the fattest kid in my year at school, age 11 to 13. So I was very repressed. I could never really get involved in anything. Picked last at sport. Hated swimming so bad because obviously I was fat. Mate, I hated it.
You're skinny, aren't you?
I know, but honestly, I got shitloads of baggage you don't know about, and I'm not telling on your podcast either. But basically, I was just like an outsider who was repressed and just felt really alone. So to be able to actually get good at things like property investing and like teaching and speaking and being able to have that inspire many people, I love doing that.
Yeah,
it's therapy for me. I just love doing it.
Football-wise, who do you support? Arsenal?
You know who I support.
Good.
All Arsenal fans.
We're all Arsenal fans. I'm Arsenal. He's Arsenal.
He's played for Man United though.
And that, yeah.
Yeah, but I support Arsenal. Who's your?
Is that allowed?
Of course, it's allowed. Who's your favourite player of all time at Arsenal?
At Arsenal?
Yeah.
Oh, right. We're talking about Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Oh, okay. Arsenal. I mean, everyone in Arsenal seems to agree that Bergkamp was the best player.
Yeah.
Righty. You've got Righty on your show.
Yeah.
He says Bergkamp was the best player. They all say that.
Yeah.
Have you not got to respect what the... Sorry to interrupt.
No,
but,
100%.
But like, we can watch, but we don't know anything about football. But the footballers, you know.
Yes.
So...
For sure, I think technically Dennis Bergkamp, for sure, the most gifted player Arsenal's ever seen. But I think it's personal. Every person,
everyone loves Henry.
Yeah, I'm Ian Wright. Henry's Henry.
Yeah.
Are you Henry? Are you Bergkamp or Henry?
Well, I don't support Arsenal.
You don't support Arsenal?
I don't actually give a fuck.
Arsenal.
You know I support Liverpool. We've goaded each other for God knows how.
I hate
this.
Liverpool. I hate Liverpool.
You know this.
Kieran
But
told me you're an Arsenal
in your
fan.
era, it was always Man United.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to.
So you're buzzing now because obviously you're doing so well in the last few years.
Yeah, I mean we've dropped off a bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean but I'd have to say Bergkamp because he's the player's player. But I mean Henry is.
Okay,
you watch back.
Go in Liverpool then. Who's your favourite player at Liverpool all time?
I have to say Suarez.
Do you?
Well, because
that's controversial.
the thing is, obviously, Mo's an absolute legend.
Yeah.
But I'm biased, so we'll put that to the side. But challenge me if you want. But that one Suarez season where he scored zillions of goals, world-class goals from everywhere. We had an all right team, and he nearly won us the league.
Yeah.
And we had even Gerrard admits, when they were playing Man United, they were all world-class. And he looked at his own team and went, we're not all world-class. So Suarez made Gerrard better. Sturridge's best seasons were... I mean, Salah's great, but he's not carrying a load of players. But Suarez...
And we tried to buy him as well for 1p over, I think, didn't we? We took the piss.
Suarez.
Arsenal. That's typical Arsenal.
The buyout clause was 50 mil, and we did 50 million pounds and one pound.
I mean...
Stupid. You don't deserve him.
I was obviously gutted when he left, but to be fair, he did progress his career. Coutinho left, and what's gone on?
But the money you used from those two signings alone built the right team to go win the Champions League and the league.
So you think Suarez is controversial because you thought I'd say Mo?
No. I don't care because I don't like Liverpool. So you can say what you want, mate. I think
he's just a controversial.
Well, it's a mutual don't care. So yeah.
I think it's a controversial character. I don't mean it's
for me. If I say Liverpool legend, I'm Gerrard.
Yeah, Gerrard.
I'm going Gerrard.
Yeah, I love Gerrard, but
didn't win the league.
Mo Salah won the league. Gerrard is bang on my era. I mean, if you told me my favourite person, John Barnes.
Yeah,
John Barnes. Like, disruptive guy, had to take a lot of racism.
Yeah, 100%.
Met the guy, really grounded guy, misunderstood. All the hate he got for not being amazing at England, but how hard would have that been for him? Thought he did a good job.
Yeah, John Barnes is a legend.
Always played out of position in England.
No, he's absolutely.
He's probably my favourite, and
he's
I met him as well.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
top guy.
When it comes to like podcasting and interviewing, what's some of the most like influential or the best interview you've ever had?
Oh, you've met so many people, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean...
Name some standouts or if there's
I
one.
love interviewing billionaires because they're unicorns.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by money and economics and finance and business, so I love interviewing billionaires. I've interviewed 16, so...
Wow.
I've interviewed Floyd Mayweather twice.
Nice.
And he is the hardest person to interview.
Is he?
Like 10x, like 100x.
Wow.
Like, even if we talked about Liverpool, the whole show, you'd still be 10 times easier to talk to than Floyd Mayweather. He was...
What, just a hard nut to crack, or...?
Yeah, he's just so defensive. Because you would be, wouldn't you?
I think like maybe because every word is probably like...
Under scrutiny.
Yes. So he may be scared to say something or just be himself.
I mean, the first one we did, it went really well. And it's pretty open. And then I asked one question, and he just clammed up like a shellfish.
What was the question?
I can't remember actually. We should go find out. I said, is fighting all these YouTubers ruining your boxing legacy? That was the question. And it was like,
yeah, you know, that's pissed him off, bro.
Yeah, but like, but that's a fair
that
question.
Pissed me off.
Yeah, but. In content like this, are we not supposed to go to these places?
Yeah,
what are we going to do?
100%.
No, I completely back.
People want to know
asking that question.
Yeah,
But I would
he got me to Google Jake Paul because that was when he was fighting Jake Paul.
It was
And he got me to Google. He literally said, "Oi," and he made me Google Jake Paul, Tyson Fury. Logan Paul. Yeah, obviously Jake Paul now, but made me Google Logan Paul, Tyson Fury, and everyone. And he said, "Who's got the most social media following out of them all?" And of course, Logan Paul had the most by a mile. And he said, "That's why." And he said, "It's an exhibition fight. It's an exhibition fight." And it is an exhibition fight.
I feel like now with him, it's just more about the money. So he's not really.
It's not like he hides that though, is it?
I mean, like he knows he can beat Logan and exhibition. He fought a guy in Asia. He wants easy fights. He don't want to fight Canelo, does he? He'll get beat. He wants to fight easy.
Well, I
people.
mean, he's retired, so
exactly. Yeah. So he wants to fight people who knows he can make a lot of money.
If you could go and play half-time game against a few amateurs and make 10 million out of it,
100%.
You'd put your boots on, wouldn't you?
100%. I get that.
Yeah, so he was. I interviewed Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. She was like the biggest actress. Maisie Williams, she's huge.
Yeah,
she's really lovely. I interviewed Carol Baskin from Tiger King yesterday. Have you ever seen Tiger King?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah. So I interviewed Carol Baskin.
Hello, you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol at Big Cat Rescue.
Oh, what's she like?
Yeah, she actually. I believe her.
1 second, did she kill her husband?
I believe her, mate. I don't think she did. I'm just going to say it. No.
Don't you reckon?
No, because I've talked to her, whereas everyone's watched Tiger King.
Same with you. I'm like, she fucking killed him, mate.
Wait, but you've watched Tiger King. So we interviewed Pablo Escobar's son, just for a laugh, really. And it ended up he wasn't his son, and we outed him. We outed him live.
You just got some.
We outed him live. He went on BBC. He went on all the mainstream media. Pablo Escobar's son. It's obviously a great story.
How did you know in live? Who told you?
So basically, mate, we could do a documentary on this, but we got him agreed, and then I had a series of messages and phone calls and texts saying he's a fraud, he's a scammer, it's not him, he's making this up, he's doing it for popularity and publicity. And it got right to the point where we'd promoted it all. We couldn't really, it looked like, don't think it's him, but we'd gone too far. And I just started asking him some really innocent questions. He just started getting really angry and aggressive. And I know your types, you're a journalist, I know you. And he just went at me. I was like, mate, I'm just asking you normal questions. Anyway, and his real son phones us up a few days later and said, I'll come on your show because I'm his real son. Oh. So then the next week we got his real son.
Oh, wicked.
So that was quite fun.
Amazing.
I miss those days.
That's a sick story, that. You must have some of the best researchers in the world if they're figuring that out. Well, and he went on BBC and all those shows.
BBC
and they
bought it.
And they bought it.
Yeah, BBC bought it. All the mainstream media bought his story. He's written a book. He's created all this. But when you properly research it, none of it adds up. And yeah, just literally about the last third of the show, he just basically, it's all on the internet. It's all on, he basically just made himself look like a fraud.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
One question. Now, when I'm sure I heard you say before, when you first meet someone, you look at their wrist. The first thing you look at is their wrist. Am I wrong saying that?
Well, it depends if they're male or female.
Yeah. What? Am I right saying that?
What brought us together
to
become friends is we both love watches.
Yes.
That's what brought us together. We got introduced by a mutual friend, and
Steve Sully, shout him out as well.
Yeah, Steve Sully, he's a great guy. And obviously I bought a fair bit off you, but introduced quite a few people to you, but obviously in the last couple of years I do think they're toppy. But yeah, I love watches. Like for me, it's the only jewelry I'll ever wear except a wedding ring. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to have tattoos or anything like that. So, and I think a watch tells a lot about someone. And I've just love watches.
Yeah.
It's a great store of value. It's an investment, and it says a lot about someone.
To be fair, I'm like that. Obviously, it's identical to you. I love watches. So the first thing is when I meet someone, I'll look at their watch naturally. But I feel like I don't want to judge a person by just because the guy's wearing a 12p watch that he hasn't got any money. Like I've got friends who've got much more money than me, and they don't even wear watches. So I don't judge people by the watch. But if I see a guy with a nice watch, I think, you know what, he's got good taste. It's a nice watch, and I'll talk about it with you. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, because certain types of watches, there's only like Urwerk. No one knows about that. No. So if someone's wearing an Urwerk, you know that's their 50th watch that they own. Or FP Journe, that's got quite popular. I love FP Journe, like 15 years ago. So things like that, you're like, okay, there's a story in 100% there that's worth chatting about.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, Rob?
What, like this afternoon?
You know what I like about you, Robert? You know what I admire about Rob? Like, which I remember I spoke to you 2 years ago and you said to me, Kieran, get on the podcast, get on the YouTubes, you got to be doing it. And I was like, I took it in, I wanted to do it, I want to do it, but I feel like, I'm sure there's loads of people out there just like me who was like me. People are fearful.
Yeah.
People don't want to, just scared to get out there.
Apprehensive.
I've been that guy. And now, 2022, I've said, you know what, hey, Henry, we're going to do it. Just go with it. It doesn't matter. We start off small, 5 followers, 10 followers.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Just keep going.
And that's one thing I liked about you, and I've always admired that you always keep going. You always growing.
Innovating.
100%. I love that. And especially when I watch your content, you're on Facebook, you're on lives. Like yesterday when the live you was on, I looked and I'm like, the guy's on live for like 50 people, but he's talking like he's got 20 million people watching him. He's so on it. And I think that's a massive, massive character, which I like about you.
Thank you.
High five.
And yeah, it is shit when you've got hundreds of thousands of followers and only 50 people turn up on your live, and it can hit your ego. But I try and ignore how many people are on, because if you influence positively 50 people, that's a great thing to do in the world. And sometimes I've got videos that have got millions of views, and I've been on a live with 7 people. And obviously the 7 people live makes you feel like you're nothing, but those 7 people might go, yeah, this was useful. Yeah. And social media is such a fickle thing. You can be massive 1 minute and dead the next, or you can be no one and then you can go viral overnight. So I think it's about consistency.
But I feel like, well, it's about going viral for the right things. You know what I mean? I don't want to go viral for getting my tits out, or you don't think something stupid. I want to go viral for the right things. You know what I mean?
When's your OnlyFans coming out?
I'm just saying, it's about, I feel like you're a professional building up slowly. This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look,
do it in the right way.
You sell the best watches in the world, and you played for Man United. I didn't have any of that. I'm just, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, and there's a certain amount of credibility I have to hold, but I can take a few more risks.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't want to go viral for something that is completely irrelevant. But would I rather be no one or go viral for something completely irrelevant and then convert all those people into starting a business? I'd probably take that. So we are a bit trying to, like I interviewed Nigel Farage today, and he is straight down the line. Half the people absolutely love him and half the people think he's the Antichrist. And so I'm going to upset some of my followers, and I'm going to lose some of my followers. But I'm going to get more reach, and that conversation's going to be more memorable than if I always play safe. Yeah. So I think the key is to not play safe.
Totally.
Well, that's your brand, isn't it? Disruptive Entrepreneur.
Well, listen.
I also think it's good that you 2 of you are hosting.
Yeah.
Because when one of you can't be asked, this is not worth it, or Because look, you can sell a £500,000 watch, but so to do a show like this, it's a long-term thing, isn't it? Because it's not going to make you millions overnight. No. And pound for pound, it's not worth your time financially, but you've got a vision. But having someone else means you probably won't quit. So I think that's a good idea.
Don't quit, Henry. But listen, it's been great having the show. Is there anything you want to plug on your show? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug? Your page?
Yeah, well, I'm Rob Moore on all socials. You can find me. And then my podcast is called Disruptors.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the episode. Give us a follow on our socials. We'll leave those on the screen for you. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.